The bar chart illustrates about median dwelling value of Australian capital cities as of August 2025. The x-axis represents the 8 major capital cities like Sydney, Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, and the y-axis shows the median dwelling value in Australian dollars from range of 200,000 to 1,200,000. The graph's distinctive shape indicates a peak at the high end, with Sydney at over $1.22 million. A significant decline is observed in Brisbane at approximately $950,000. A tight cluster is then evident, encompassing Canberra, Adelaide, Perth, and Melbourne in the $803,000 to $873,000 range. The overall trend showcases the median dwelling values of cities.
This image describes about a bright, sunny photograph of a town set in green landscape. Top area is dominated by deep blue sky with large puffy white clouds. Middle area features a large area of green trees covering hills. A higher mountain peak is visible in the distance. Residential buildings are scattered throughout the greenery. Bottom area shows close-up buildings, including modern-looking apartment on the right side. Overall, this image conveys a peaceful scene of nature and urban life blending on a clear, sunny day.
This is a simple line chart that illustrates the trend of app downloads over a 12-month period. The x-axis represents the time period, showing the months from January through December. The y-axis represents the number of downloads, specifically measured in thousands. This shows the actual volume of the app's performance. The highest point on the graph is in December, where the app reached 65,000 downloads. Conversely, the lowest point was at the start of the year in January, with only 15,000 downloads. Overall, the chart clearly shows a general upward trend in performance throughout the year, with some minor fluctuations in the summer and fall months.
The pie chart clearly illustrates the university graduate outcomes for the class of 2024, based on an alumni survey 6 months after graduation. The most significant outcome is securing a full-time job, which accounts for the largest portion of the data at 40%. This is followed by those who are continuing their education through graduate school, representing 25% of the graduates. The smallest portion belongs to those engaged in a part-time job, which is only 5%. In contrast, those starting a freelance or startup career account for 15%. The remaining 15% chose a volunteering or gap year. In summary, the majority of the graduates successfully transition either into the full-time workforce or further academic study.
The bar graph presents the academic performance Q3 progress report, illustrating the percentage scores achieved across 4 core subjects. The y-axis represents the score in percentage, and the x-axis details the subjects, math, science, history, and computer science. A clear target of 90% plus is marked at the top. Intermediate performances include math at 92%, which also surpasses the 90% target, and science at 88%, which is very close to the goal. In conclusion, the overall academic performance is very strong, with the student needing only a slight improvement in science and a more focused effort in history to consistently meet the 90% target across all subjects.
The line chart illustrates the mobile app growth by tracking monthly active users across 3 metrics from January to June 2024. The total users line shows a strong, overall upward trend, starting below 100,000 in January and peaking near 225,000 in June. This category is consistently the highest throughout the period. New downloads and premium subscribers show similar volatility, but both see a significant jump from April to June. New downloads hit a low of 40,000 in March but finished strong. In conclusion, while total user growth is excellent, reaching the goal of 250K total users by Q3 will require sustaining the high growth rates seen towards the end of the period.
The map illustrates the Future City Sustainability Report for 2040, detailing the performance of 4 key urban zones against sustainability goals. The Northwest Zone and the Northeast Zone show the highest achievement, both exceeding their targets. Solar power in the west and renewable energy in the north are both at a strong 120%. The Southeast Zero Waste Hub records the lowest performance, with a waste diversion rate of 80%. This is 15 percentage points lower than the public transit and transit usage zones, both at 95%. In conclusion, while the city excels in energy metrics, increased focus is needed on waste diversion to help achieve the overall goal of carbon neutral by 2050.
The diagram illustrates the circular economy product life cycle, detailing a 6-stage process aimed at zero pollution. The process begins with design and produce, focusing on eco-friendly materials and long-lasting design. Products then move to the consume and use stage, promoting responsible consumption. Finally, the refurbished items cycle back to the beginning, maintaining a goal to minimize waste to landfill by 5%. Overall, this continuous cycle represents a shift from linear to sustainable production.
The table presents the Global Wellness Index for 2025, comparing 5 countries across 4 metrics: life expectancy, happiness score, environmental quality, and wellness rank. The highest rank, rank 1, belongs to Finland, which also has the highest environmental quality score at 92 and the top happiness score at 7.8. In conclusion, the data shows a strong correlation between high environmental quality and a high wellness rank, highlighting areas for improvement to reach the goal of improving all metrics by 10% by 2030.
The horizontal bar chart illustrates remote work productivity factors, showing the percentage importance of 6 different elements based on an employee survey. The highest factor is clearly flexible hours at 78%, indicating it is the most crucial for employee productivity. The lowest rated factor is training and support at just 28%, showing a significant gap compared to flexible hours. In summary, while flexibility is key, management needs to boost all factors by 15% by 2025, with the greatest percentage increase required for training and support to meet this goal.
The line chart illustrates e-commerce sales performance from Q1 to Q3, tracking total sales, new customers, and average order value in thousands of revenue. The total sales line shows a volatile but overall upward trend, beginning around 100K in January and peaking strongly in September. This figure consistently remains the highest throughout the 9-month period. In conclusion, the data shows excellent growth in total sales, but continued focus on average order value is necessary to achieve the goal of 500K total sales by Q4.
The pie chart clearly illustrates the global water usage distribution by sector, detailing how water is allocated across 3 main areas. It is immediately evident that agriculture dominates water consumption, accounting for the largest share at a substantial 70%. This is 7 times the amount used by the domestic sector. In conclusion, the data highlights that efforts to meet the goal of reducing agricultural water use by 10% by 2030 are crucial, as agriculture represents the overwhelmingly largest consumer of the world's water resources.
The diagram illustrates the digital product development lifecycle, detailing the 6 main stages required to bring an innovation from concept to launch. The cycle begins with ideation and research, leading into concept and design. From there, the product moves to development and prototyping and then to testing and QA to fix bugs. The final official step is feedback and iteration, which cycles back into the design phase. The overall goal is to minimize time to market by 15%, highlighting the need for optimization across this continuous, iterative process.
The world map illustrates the Global Internet Connectivity Index for 2024, categorizing regions into 4 levels of access, from limited to advanced. The map clearly shows advanced access, red, concentrated across North America and Europe, representing established digital hubs. The largest contiguous area of developing connectivity is the Americas, with the figure 60 in South America. The lowest data point, 35, is shown in the far North America region. In conclusion, the data highlights a significant digital divide between continents. Focused efforts are needed, particularly in the developing and moderate regions, to meet the goal of increasing global connectivity by 20% by 2030.
The table illustrates urban commute modes in City X, comparing 5 transport methods based on commuter percentage, average time, and environmental impact. The most used mode is single occupancy vehicle, SOV, accounting for the largest share at 35% of all commuters. This mode also carries the worst environmental impact rating of 5. Public transit has a low environmental rating of 2 but the longest commute time at 40 minutes. In conclusion, the goal to reduce SOV commute by 10% is critical, as SOV is currently the most popular and the most polluting mode of transport.
The horizontal bar graph illustrates public library engagement factors, comparing 6 services based on the percentage of use from an annual survey. The most popular service is digital resources, scoring the highest at 78%. This is significantly greater than the lowest rated factor, which is study and meeting spaces at just 28%. In conclusion, digital offerings are the primary driver of engagement. All factors need to be boosted by 20% by 2025, requiring significant strategic improvement for the least used services.